This is an Überleben fire steel that I'm using. We have steel wool. Now sometimes if your tinder that you find is damp, hard to ignite, things are being a real pain in the butt, a little bit of steel wool, the finer the better that you have. 4/0 is probably about the best you can get. And you pull it apart to where it's real cotton bally. Just sit here and pick it apart for a few. When you get it like this, you have your tinder ball set up in the middle, a little depression, set this in there, and as fine a material around it as you can get. Everything that you do, you always try to make it as good as you can every time you do it, so that when you need to, you have that ability practiced and it's second nature. Cutting shortcuts like this when you're sitting here practicing isn't the thing to do. You usually try to make things as difficult as you can in practice. You use some inferior materials and whatnot. That's what I usually will do. We'll grab some I'll usually grab wet grass or damp grass, things along that line, just to make it harder. That way I'm used to it if I'm out somewhere. Okay, so we have the steel wool picked apart. Take your fire steel and just, come on. Blow some fire into it. This is a soft fire steel and it'll grab really pretty good sometimes. And this will sit here and do this in your tinder ball, which will lengthen the amount of time that it has heat in contact with it. And as it's doing that, it's transferring heat. You can move it around, transfer the heat to it, and hopefully get it to ignite easier. And don't always get it all. But it'll burn down into a bit of fluff. I'm not sure how many times you can actually hit that. You can see it goes. But one pad of steel wool doesn't weigh much. You have to keep it dry because it'll rust real fast. A little bit of moisture and this turns into iron oxide in overnight easily. The thing with it, if you're making black powder or something along this line, it'll turn it into rust. Well, not black powder, but red powder. It'll turn it into rust real fast. There's another ball. We'll do it again. Look at that. It'll sit there and do this through the fine steel fibers. And that's the metal burning. It'll usually give you a couple chances at it, just in case the first one didn't take. These Überleben fire steels are pretty nice ones. They're a fairly soft material, so you can get it shooting a lot of fire pretty easily. It cuts the number of strikes down per rod, but you're not looking for a hard rod when you need it. You're wanting something that'll scrape a lot of material off that's molten to get your tinder, steel wool, whatever you're trying to ignite. You want it to hit it. You want to hit it with a lot of molten metal. And this is what we're doing.